the next little tip is something you can use whenever you're spodding. So I'm going to get my spod mix out now, and what I'm effectively going to do is make a stick mix. That's my spod mix there, chopped boilie, bit of the party mix from Bait Tech, a few chopped tigers and that sort of thing in there, loads of hemp in with it. Just put that into a bait box, okay, make sure there's no real big bits in it. Now obviously that is too wet to go in a PVA stick, but with the addition of this little fella, the hemp stick mix from Mainline, just a little bit like that, and using my compressor to stir it round, all I'm doing is just drying it out enough to get it in a stick. It's not wet and it's not dry, it's sort of in between, and all my stick mixes are like that. They're just slightly moist, so they'll go in a stick. I reckon that's about right there. They'll go in a stick, they won't melt the PVA for the first couple of minutes. You can whack them out onto the spot, and what you've effectively got there is a little pile of spod mix sitting around your hook bait. So rather than having a pile of pellets like everybody else uses, you've actually got the same stuff that you're spodding sitting right next to the hook bait, and that with a little bit, like a little fusion chop or a little bit of chopped tiger or a bit of maize on the hair, fish with that is going to get you a lot more bites over a spod mix. So that's that one. And the other one is the one that I used to very, very good effect at maize on. That's my nutty stick mix. So we've got a fishy one, a spod mix one, and then a nutty one. I've got crushed up nuts there that I've done in the blender, or I use the old boilie chopper to chop them up. I've got some chopped up, very, very finely chopped boilie. This is the Proactive pineapple. That works really well with the nut mix. It's really, really sweet, and after a couple of days it just gets sweeter and sweeter. And with that I'll just use a tiny bit of tiger nut or a peanut or something like that on the end, fished over the top of the spod mix. And there are certain times when particle baits are going to outfish boilies, certain times it's the other way round. So what I try and do is have that on one rod, and I'll have the savoury one on at least one of the other rods, and then maybe just a single hook bait on the third rod, and see which starts working, and then switch all rods over to that. So that sticks. Avoid them at your peril. I see very, very few people using them. You can use them in all the sizes, the boilie funnel web size and the funnel web size as well. They can both have compressors to go with them, and I'll use that big size if I'm fishing the great big reservoirs out in France somewhere and I want a great big stick on because it's going to be out there ages waiting for a big one to turn up. That is the way to do it.